Our final speaker is somebody that when I first heard her, I fell in love with her. Because she was able to stay up for many hours before city council and some of those marathon sessions. And of all the people who spoke as delegations on the hospital funding issues, no one spoke with more passion and insight and had an understanding of the importance of that hospital for our community than Dr. Lisa Porter. She did her PhD at McMaster in Hamilton in medical sciences, did her postdoctoral fellowship at the University of California in San Diego. She really is one of Canada's top research scientists, and we're so blessed to have you in our community. I'm not going to go on and on. She's got a colleague, Dr. Caroline Ham, and they founded the Windsor Cancer Research Group in 2012 in an effort to elevate cancer research going on in Windsor, Essex. But I'm going to leave her introduction with this, because this was my favorite part. She says in brackets, "You don't have to worry about being too formal with me. I'm good with just being the vocal chick on Twitter or Facebook that keeps preaching about research." That's our Dr. Lisa Porter. Please welcome her to the stage.
All right, I'm also short, so here we go. Good afternoon, everybody. It's really great for me to be here today, to see so many faces here, and really it's an honor to get to speak, to say a few words about this exciting and really important project. You've heard from a few people here today, and I think every one of those talks was amazing and really solidified why we need this hospital here and why we need it here now. I'm just going to finish off with a little bit of a personal perspective. I really rarely do this, and so I'm kind of putting myself out here for you. But I'm going to say a little bit of a personal story, and then I'm going to leave you with some remaining thoughts. Back in 2004, when I was deciding really what I wanted to do when I grow up, I was deciding where I was going to land for my academic career. And I had two really good job offers on the table. One was here at the University of Windsor, and the other was at the University of Ottawa. Seems like we're picking on Ottawa tonight. At the CHEO Institute up there. And CHEO is what we call an academic research hospital. It has research and teaching embedded in it. For me, I'm a science geek. I love science and I love my research. And what I want to do most is to find new therapies, new treatments, new diagnoses for patients with cancer and benign tumor syndromes. So the answer was simple to me. I was going to Ottawa. I signed a contract with Ottawa, and that's where I was going to go. A few days after I signed that contract, my unborn son at the time, as he's continued to do for the rest of my life, threw a wrench into my plans. So he decided to be born prematurely. And so I had a premature labor and a little bit of complications attached to that. And so my husband and I decided to switch our script here, and I reversed my contract and came to the University of Windsor. I wanted to be... We wanted to be near to our family and friends here in southwestern Ontario. When I started up my lab here, it was a little bit as I had expected. You know, I was at the university, there was a handful of cancer researchers there, but I wasn't surrounded by physicians. I didn't have access to patients. I didn't have access to patient samples. I didn't have the cutting edge equipment that I needed to do my work. I did, however, recruit some amazing students right out of the gate. And one of the things I realized and still realize is that one of our greatest resources here in Windsor, Essex is there's a surplus of really intelligent and motivated young people who want to be in this community, who want to do their careers here and to remain in this community. I then reached out across town and I met Dr. Caroline Ham, who's here today as well. And for those who know her, she's a force. And I was so lucky to join up with her. And then since then, I met a number of other doctors, pathologists, surgeons, support staff, nurses. We started working together. We formed the Windsor Cancer Research Group, which started out with a handful of people and grew to be over 300 researchers in the last little while. What I've learned in working with these people is that we have dedicated people who want to go above and beyond for their patients, but what they're doing is working with subpar resources. They have aged infrastructure, and they don't have what we call an academic research center, which means they don't have extra time to do research, to do training, to do teaching. They don't have time for professional development. These are things that for professionals, this is what motivates and excites people. It's what gets them every day wanting to do more and more for their patients. It's what gives them the fuel to be able to do what they need to do to go above and beyond. So what also became really apparent to me when I was comparing sort of the atmosphere, it wasn't all negative. One of the things that Dr. Sad also pointed out was that when I was comparing the different institutions that I worked at, there was, unlike being at the University of Ottawa or at McMaster or Toronto, where I also worked, the people here we were big enough to have great institutions, but yet still small enough where people talk to each other. The leaders and the leadership teams at these individual places actually had similar visions. They wanted to work together and move towards a common vision. They had the ability to actually deliver to our community a regional plan. What we're talking about here is not just about bricks and mortar. We as a community have the ability to do so much more. We have the ability to not just become as good as the University of Ottawa, but to become better. We can build here something that actually addresses the needs of an entire region. What I'm talking about is amalgamating, and Dennis actually mentioned this a little bit in his talk as well, is amalgamating our services together. Our facilities can talk to one another. We can take cutting edge infrastructure that's very expensive and start saying, can we really think about how to best work around this equipment so that we make a plan so that that new PET CT scan is here for you when you need it? Can we bring together our resources so that we open up operating dollars so that we can put those operating dollars into the front lines to hire more nurses, to hire more support staff, to fund PET projects, to fuel research? Can we integrate our hospital systems with our academic centers, with the university, with the college, with our communities? Can we bring together resources, supplies, ideas, expertise? We can do this here in our region. We have this available to us now. This infrastructure allows us to build on the momentum that already exists within the walls of our hospital, to build on the goodwill of the people that work there every day, to provide our patients not just with what's as good as everywhere else, but cutting edge. We have the opportunity to right now make Windsor a place that's recognized for cutting edge research, for cutting edge training, for delivering to our patients the best treatments, the best diagnosis, for having top cutting edge equipment. In 2012, there was a national report that was released that said that patients treated at academic centers that do this, that have research, that have these cutting edge things, survive longer. They have better outcomes. Right now, we have the opportunity to do that for the people here in Windsor. I've been here now for 15 years. Windsor is the only home that my sons know. And I would tell them every day that they're lucky to be here. We're lucky to be in Windsor. We're lucky to be in a place where the community works together, where we work together to overcome barriers, and where we work together to achieve excellence. And so right now is the opportunity for us to say that we need excellence here in our community. Thank you.